Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who sees his girlfriend having dinner with another guy at a restaurant he's working at. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. So, I work at bars all over the place where I live. I know a lot of people in the restaurant and bar industries, and when you know a lot of people, you tend to get a lot of work. For the last 2 or 3 years, I've worked the same couple of places pretty consistently, but I've kept in contact with a lot of people still. Last year, I met a new girl. Let's call her Claire. Claire and I started dating after she got out of her last relationship. She's kind of a strange person. She's really bubbly and social, but she can't make a phone call without spiking her anxiety. Something about talking to a complete stranger in a not fun or party setting just stops her dead in her tracks. And one more thing about her, Claire doesn't drive. She just doesn't. She's a full-on passenger princess. I don't really know how she's gotten that far in her life without it, but she's never gotten her license. And as far as I know, she never learned. No manual, no automatic, no nothing. Her friends and I help her out, and when we can't, it's just Uber. A lot of times, I've had to order the Uber for her. Her anxiety is that bad. Claire and I both like to talk about our coworkers. Nothing too bad, but it's just a thing we both do. Well, I started to notice that Claire would talk about a particular coworker more and more. At first it was just like, oh, he said this and this. But then it became like these really in-depth stories where it seemed like she had all this detail and emotion. Not a big deal, but I started to notice it. I made a joke that he was her work boyfriend and I was the second guy. And she just looked away from me. I thought at first she didn't get that I was joking or didn't hear me or something. But something was definitely weird after I said that. I don't know what it was, but she immediately became like reserved and didn't continue her story. When that happened, I started noticing that she completely dropped any story that had or may have had that other guy in it. She stopped bringing him up, started omitting him from stories, and would change the subject almost immediately if he did get brought up somehow. I don't think I would have noticed it if I wasn't looking, but things started becoming really awkward between us during that time. It felt like she had something to say to me but couldn't get it out. I didn't really know what the deal was. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my friend who's a shift manager at this really nice restaurant whose name I shall not name. Use your imagination, it's a nice one. My friend tells me that their bartender got into a car accident and will be out for a couple of days, and asks if I can come in and help out while their guy is recovering. I say yes. Claire tells me that she's going to be busy that weekend, which means I'm free the whole weekend. And I'm going to make a lot of tip money. Things are going great. Well, I'm at the bar working one night, and who do I see but Claire? In a very fancy dress that I had never seen before, wrapped around the arm of another guy. I had never seen him before, but I can only imagine it was that coworker of his. So yeah, she was busy cheating on me. I see them when they walk in, but they're busy getting seated so they don't see me. I walk into the back and start talking to my friends about what just happened. At first I thought maybe I'm freaking out, and that's not really her. I told my friend to eyeball her while I called her. He sees her notice the phone ringing and then ends the call. She messages me that she's in a movie with some girlfriends of hers and that she would call me back later. So it was her. Okay, not great. I asked my friend what to do and he basically tells me to work it off and don't engage. Don't do anything stupid. I head back to the bar and set up. The table they sat down on was at such an angle where I could lean over and look at them, so of course I do. Claire has her back to me while the guy's kind of facing me but at an indirect angle. The guy comes up and walks over to my bar and orders a drink. I'm like one rude comment from getting into a fight with this guy who I think is effing my girlfriend, but I keep it cool and I just do what I'm supposed to do. Until I notice that there's an employee discount. The discount's like 30% off. I can apply for this discount since this is one of the perks of working there that my friend had promised me. Right then, I just knew what to do. It was like I had an angel and a devil on my shoulder and the angel left. So I first water down the drink and then apply the discount. The man looks at the receipt and asks why it's so cheap. I tell him it's happy hour. He comes back and gets another drink a bit later. I do the same thing. He comes back and I do the same thing. Comes back again and I give him a discount again, but I do not water down his drink. This happens, I think, 5 times. By the end of the night, this man is gone. You can tell by looking at him, he's done. He's getting belligerent too, and I can hear Claire trying to shush him. Eventually, they decide to close out the night and head out. Immediately, I came back to my friend and I paid off all the money that they lost because of what happened. I ended up making like $25 the whole night because I had to pay back so much. Friend is still pissed about that. I go into the back, I put my phone on a table, and I just stare at it and wait. 30 minutes or so later, I got a phone call. Who could it be but Claire? Claire is sobbing. She's so upset and she needs my help. Her friend got pulled over for driving under the influence and the cops took him away. She's stuck with a car that's not hers that she cannot drive in the middle of the road and she's stressing out. I tell her that she better learn quickly or call someone to tow it because she's the only one who's going to. I tell her I know she's cheating and that it's over for us. She needs to find someone else to get that car off the road. Maybe some good Samaritan will help her out. Hung up, blocked her number, haven't talked to her since. I'm sure everything turned out all right. I'm sorry this happened to your relationship, OP. It sucks that Claire turned out to be a cheater and a liar. It's a good thing you found out and caught her red-handed. Ending things with her was the right thing to do. As for your little revenge, as long as it made you feel a little bit better, then the price was worth it too. I wish you better luck next time. Story 2. Me, 27 male, with my wife, 25, have been married for 4 months now. She has good male friends at work. She texts all of them from her cell phone. I'm allowed to go through her cell phone. I know the password to her phone, and she never hides her cell from me. Because of this, I've gone through her messages and I found some texts where she's referring to the other person as honey or darling. When I asked her about it, she told me that she always refers to that specific person as honey or darling because she teases that friend like a girl. She was later sad and worried that I was suspecting her. She told me many times that they're just friends and will never cheat on me. Later on another occasion, I went through her messages and saw a few texts deleted. When I asked her about this, she told me she deleted the messages because she didn't want me to think that she was texting a lot. There's no change in her behavior. She never hides anything from me. Her cell phone is always accessible to me when she's with me. She's not hiding anything from me. Am I being paranoid? OP, she probably deleted some texts to hide them from you. She hid them from you because you are unreasonably paranoid about this guy. It really says something that she knows you'll look at every message she sends if she doesn't delete them. She may call this guy honey or darling, but you don't even say the tone is flirtatious. Besides, what do you think? She's hiding a stale romantic relationship with the guy? There's no change in her behavior. She's not hiding anything. I'm willing to bet she's not glued to her phone or texting this guy or anyone else way too much or letting it get in the way of being with you. Ask her if she'd be willing to change her password and not let you know what it is, because you need help resisting the temptation to look. Now for some comments. Probably nothing, but if your gut is feeling something, you should discuss boundaries with her. Would she feel comfortable with you using terms of endearment with female coworkers? Not only is it making you uncomfortable, it's kind of unprofessional, and could damage her reputation at work if other people suspect them of being involved. My SO used to do this. I have absolutely nothing to hide, but I did it because I thought it would make him feel better. Nope. He'll read into little things that aren't actually there. Our relationship started to break down because of this. Do you know how insulting it is to be questioned all the time? You're making her anxious with your paranoia. Whatever happened in your childhood or whatever events, stressors happened to you in your lifetime told you that other people were untrustworthy. Like you said, this is not her problem, it's yours. Don't bother her with your problems because she'll try to bend over backwards to please you and in the process, begin to feel worthless because her own husband doesn't believe her. If you don't get therapy, he will destroy your relationship from the inside out. Can you afford some counseling, or do you have access to some counseling services? It sounds like you know you're in the wrong, but you're having trouble controlling this behavior and are scared of what it may spiral into. If you could really benefit from speaking to someone that can offer you some tools to deal with this, and who can perhaps deal with the root of your anxiety and inappropriate behavior. If someone's going to cheat on you, then they'll do it no matter how much you try and control the situation, and no matter how often you check on them. They'll just put more effort into hiding it. She might be cheating, she might not. You have no evidence. She's never made a confession, and my guess is that something has happened within you, self-esteem, that has triggered this fear. Don't give up. I'm sure you can bring the best version of yourself to this marriage.